Greetings, metal scholars. I've been listening to lots of Sleep Token, and this band is really interesting. They've just put out a new single. It's called Vore. There's so much that we can talk about, so let's just deep dive into the meaning of it. So what's with the title, Vore? The word comes from voradiphilia, which is, the desire to consume or to be consumed by another creature or another deity. So voradiphilia becomes Vore, comes from the Latin word vorare, and that means to swallow, literally. And the title is referring to this fetish that people may experience, fantasies, sexual arousal when you wonder and ponder about the act of being consumed. So it's the idea of these gods that they swallow their lovers. And that's a very, very common theme in many mythologies and ancient cultures. Some cultures see the act of Vore as a symbol of their god's power and dominance over their partner. It can represent a ritual of sacrifice and an act of transformation. And this is really important with sleep token, the relationship between vessel and the deity, sleep. So it's sacrifice, it's this exchange, right? And I believe that this ties really well with the video. We see this amazing creature. It's the same goddess that you have on the Spotify cover. And it's basically an amalgamate of various animals, mostly mollusks and insects, spiders, cockroaches. And it's even got like this pincher claw, like a lobster or something. It's got like antlers. It's an amazing concoction, and that could potentially mean a manifestation of sleep, for this song specifically. So they worship the deity called sleep, and I think most songs are offerings to this god or goddess. And sometimes the relationship, when you read the lyrics, they might feel that they're a bit abusive. And in the video you have a statue, and it's got like 3 mouths. It might be an inspiration that they got from Brahma, the Hindu god, the one that created the universe. It also looks like a snail, and I believe that there's some important symbolism here. The first one being transformation and growth. The snail's shell, it grows along with its body, so that can be seen as a metaphor for change, for personal growth, for transformation. And the snail can represent a journey of self-discovery, personal evolution, and this gradual development of one's identity. I also see worshiping the statue as a form of, accessing creativity, intuition, and you also have a spiral shape with the snail, and that you can associate that with creativity, with the cyclical nature of life. And in some cultures, the snail is seen as a symbol of creative life force, and it's used as this emblem of artistic expression. And the act of swallowing lovers is really famous in various mythologies, not only the Hindu one. I also have examples from ancient Greek religion with Kronos, the god of time. He swallows Poseidon, Hades, even Zeus. And in Egyptian culture, we have Amon-Ra, and it's a god that swallows other gods and then regurgitates later. That creates this idea of really like creation, something new, change, transformation. So it's, in his case, creating the universe. So it's like the atoms, and you even have Odin. He swallowed his own eye, and that can be seen as the ability of getting foresight. That's why you have the Nordic seer with Vikings, for example, and they shut their eyes. They just stitch them up. They don't need the eyes because they can see with their minds. Well, the act of regurgitation is represented in the video. The statue vomits later on. And I think this is kind of like a way to give back, to create new things after you've swallowed them whole. So it's the idea of transformation. And musically, the song has a strong, like, Deaf Heaven vibe. The mix is very similar. The vocals, they function more like an instrument, they're lower in the mix. And it's also similar to Deaf Heaven in a way that it's got this aggressive music, but beautiful lyrics. It's an avenue of power and heavy music, distortion, overdrive, and everything as a catharsis. It's a cathartic form of expression. And at the same time, you're talking about beautiful things. And these beautiful things are transcendental. The words are mysterious, hermetic. They may have more than one interpretation, and they certainly will have. But in my humble opinion, they want to embrace this connection of vessel and sleep. He's reduced to his most basic elements, flesh and bone. He's experiencing pain, and the deity has become the voice in his head. So it's now his true guide, connected as one mind. And if we link this idea to romantic love, he can be suffering from the loss of someone, and he's just right now going through this experience of transformation, and he's being swallowed whole, and he wants to do the same. He wants to go where people never dare to. He wants to get rid of all the hurdles of life and finally be with this person and experience these things, to swallow and be swallowed whole, and to transform, and in the midst to experience maybe death and rebirth. So these are the main triggers, the main drivers on Vore. And it's an amazing musical journey to spirituality. So please give it a listen as many times as you can. And it's going to be a great journey for you to embark on. So that's it for me today, y'all. Music is what music does. Please like and sub if you can. And I'm signing out. Bye now.